Hello. So I just recorded an entire video that I had meant for YouTube, but I did it vertically, not horizontally. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with that footage. That was of the tomato soup. I may still just upload that in its messed up format. Let's see. But now we're making something else. So let's get started. Okay, we're making Brussels sprouts in a sherry bacon shallot cream sauce. And it is probably my favorite, one of my favorite foods, I would say, but definitely my favorite side dish for Christmas and Thanksgiving. I have it always at both because it is amazing. So my Brussels sprouts look terrible. They look quite old because I meant to make this last week and forgot. So I'm going to have to peel off quite a few layers of these, a lot of the leaves, but that's okay. That's normal. So there's usually a lot of dirt in these anyways, and sometimes even little bugs. If you can buy these, I think in America, you can probably buy them. Like I remember not having to actually deal with like pulling off all the bad outer leaves and get bugs and stuff out of them in America, probably because you might use pesticides there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe they use them here too. But so I have a lot of work ahead of me as far as just cutting off the woody stems and getting the outer leaves off. So let's get started with that. So I'm just going to cut the bottom and then kind of pull the leaves that fall off just straight off. This one has a few extra bad spots on it. So I've already washed these. And then actually the first step that you're going to do with this recipe is soak them in salt water for an hour. I may try to skip that step because I don't know if I have an hour to soak them today. Let's see. I don't know if that's completely necessary or not. Like I said before, I like to skip any unnecessary step, but for some reason I never really skip that step because I guess I worry that maybe it's like, I don't know, that seems like a long time for the original author of this recipe to have devoted to something if there's no reason behind it. So maybe there's a reason. Maybe the reason is something like perhaps that makes them more tender. I don't know. I mean, maybe today we'll experiment with just doing it without the soaking part and we'll see if it makes a big difference in the taste. So I can let you know at the end if it's worth skipping that step or if you really need to do that step. I'll still describe how to do the step just in case we find that like it's pretty essential. Okay, so I'm still cutting these. So I didn't really tell you what else I had here. I have some cream, got some salt, pepper, olive oil, mushrooms, bacon, got 3 shallots here because I love shallots so much. I don't know if you call them shallots or shallots. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to put the emphasis. Maybe you can let me know if this video ever gets put somewhere. Then perhaps somebody could tell me in the comments how you pronounce shallots or shallots, or if it's something completely different than that. And then I have this. This is not actually one of the proper ingredients. I don't know where to buy cream sherry in Germany. The first year that we lived here, I did find it at a regular grocery store, and I just kind of took that for granted. I just bought one bottle, and really one bottle kind of lasted me like a year. I have no idea how long it's actually proper to keep alcohol in the fridge. I don't know if it gets moldy at some point or what. It didn't, so I kept using it just like throughout that whole year, and I never experienced any chunks of mold or anything. So maybe, I don't know, maybe alcohol doesn't mold. Maybe that's another thing somebody can let me know in the comments, or I can Google it later. That's also possible. So because I don't have any cream sherry, I'm going to use this because really it smells pretty similar to me. Yeah, it smells, I don't even know what you actually call this. This is from, it's like an Asian grocery store. I feel like I saw it written before as Shaoxing wine or something. I can show you what this looks like. So in case you're here in Germany, if you want to find, or like maybe they have this all over, I don't know. But yeah, so it smells kind of like cream sherry. and it works. This is what I've been using for the last, I don't know, year and a half or so. Okay, so we're gonna work on our Brussels sprouts. We just chop off the ends, pull off the leaves. Again, I'm breathing hard because again, I feel quite nervous about this whole concept of videoing myself. And I didn't prepare anything really to say, and I'm hoping that I don't forget steps to this recipe because I'm just going off of my memory. So we'll see. I will link the recipe, I guess, or I don't know. What do people do? Do they link a recipe or do they just like write it in the show notes? Is that a thing? I think that is. I forget. Okay. Anyways, I'll put the recipe somewhere so you have access to this amazing recipe. I will probably, so I've doctored the recipe a little bit from the original one, and I have no idea like legally if I can link the original recipe or not, but I will probably just write it the way that I now do it. I can tell you a little bit of like the differences, the things that I've changed. I basically just add more mushrooms, more bacon, more shallots, because those are the delicious. I mean, Brussels sprouts are delicious. Brussels sprouts, I think they're called, are delicious. But the real, like, really delicious part of this recipe is obviously the bacon and mushroom and shallot part. Shallot, I don't know. So we're just working on this. Did I just find a bug? No. I don't know if I should just be like chatting away while I'm doing this, but I find that when I start talking, I forget that I'm actually cooking as well. And I fall behind on the cooking. Like I stop cutting and doing stuff. So maybe I'll just be quiet for a little while I work on this. Anyways, probably we like speed up this part or something because this is kind of going to be tedious for you to watch. Maybe the whole video is going to be tedious for you to watch, but this part especially is going to be tedious. So I will stop talking and I will keep chopping. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to turn on the oven because what you're going to do after you soak the Brussels sprouts, which I said today I'm not going to soak them, after you soak them for an hour in salt water, you are going to like put some olive oil and salt and pepper on them, and then you're going to put them on a baking tray that I've got ready right here, and you're going to bake them for 15 minutes. And while they're baking, you're doing cooking up the sauce. So that really, I mean, this is also a pretty quick recipe except for that 1 hour soaking time. But if you don't do the 1 hour soaking time, then, which again, we'll see if it tastes good or not without that part. But it's actually a pretty quick recipe then. It's just like, this part takes a while, getting all the leaves off, getting them cut. You're just gonna slice them in half once you get the stems off and the bad leaves off. Some of these are a little too old, I would say. I mean, the best thing is if you get, like one of those, I remember getting this in America, like the actual stem of them where they're all attached still. I mean, that was also a lot of work to like cut them off of the stem, but it was beautiful. And yeah, they seemed really fresh and lovely. I mean, these were fresh when I bought them. Oops, but I've let them go bad. So yeah, unfortunately this is not gonna have as much of the Brussels sprouts part as it normally does. But really, again, it doesn't have to have a ton of that. Like, yes, that's the healthy part and like, it's good, it's a good part. But a lot of people would say they like this better if you go light on the Brussels sprouts. So, but really, I mean, everyone I've ever given this to or prepared this for, like even my husband has said it's pretty delicious. Not my sons because they don't like mushrooms, but when they were littler, they did like it. Although I started to think, I have no idea if you're meant to give food that has alcohol in it, like sherry, to kids. I don't know. But I mean, you cook the sherry out, so hopefully that was fine. Hopefully I did not do something wrong. Oops. Okay, we're still cutting. I'm not giving my kids alcohol, people. Don't worry, please. I start to feel like, oh my gosh, is somebody gonna report me for this? I'm not giving them alcohol, I promise. I kind of thought that when you cook things with alcohol in them, then the alcohol cooks out, except for the flavor. I don't know, don't report me, please. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this pile away. So I decided that I will give these a little bit of a soak while I'm like cutting the other stuff. Just, I don't know, just to not completely skip that step. Maybe it also helps them just get clean. Like maybe this hour in salt water is meant to just kill all the bugs or whatever that might be on them, or I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe there's a lot of pesticides on them, or who knows? There might be some reason. So I'm just gonna give it like not a full hour, but like maybe 5-minute soak. With hot water, I'll try to see if that does the trick faster. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of salt. So I think, okay, that was a little bit more than I intended, but you rinse the salt water off. So I meant to put about a tablespoon, but I think I may have put more than that. Okay, so I'm just gonna set these over here to soak. I'm going to cut up the mushrooms now. Maybe I will start on the bacon actually. I don't really, okay, I'm gonna cut the bacon with scissors because I don't really like cutting bacon. Okay, so I'm gonna put my frying pan here on the burner and get it started. Like medium temperature. I'm going to just cut the bacon into little, you can use a knife, that probably makes more sense. I don't know, I have trouble cutting bacon. So I usually just use scissors. I just cut them like this. And these are kitchen scissors. They're not like art scissors that have touched dirty things. And then I'm just gonna stick them straight into the sink because I do not like bacon grease all over everything. Okay, just splattered water all over the kitchen. Okay, so I got that going. I've got my spatula. I keep bumping my belt onto the counter, so that probably makes a weird noise. Okay, so that is going to start frying. I'm just gonna cut off the very bottom of the mushrooms. I don't know if you really need to, but I always feel like doing it. Probably I should do the shallots first, actually, because that's the next. Yeah, I'm going to do the shallots next because that's the next thing that should go in. So I've got 3 shallots, but you can use 2, you can use more if you'd like, whatever. These always make me cry so bad, so let's see how that goes. I hope they don't this time because I do not want to rub mascara all over my face while I'm filming. That would be even more embarrassing than this whole process is so far. Can I cut this off? We cut too high. So far, so good. I'm not crying yet. Although, I guess I haven't really started the actual chopping part yet. Let's see. Okay. So I don't feel like that many. So you can just dice it whatever size. Again, it's not, doesn't really matter. Just, I like it fairly fine, but since it cooks, ooh, I'm feeling them. Ouch, my eyes. Okay, let's see. Maybe stand a little further back. I have no idea if you can still see me in the camera, but trying not to cry. Okay, my knife is not super sharp, but that's the trick, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna just mix the bacon around a little. So probably if you're making this in the UK or in America, you can probably get the cream sherry a lot easier. And probably it's not as hard as I think to find it here. I don't know. It's not at any of my normal grocery stores, and I just haven't made the effort to try to go to, I don't know, any kind of special drink shop or something like that, like wine shop or whatever would have it. So I don't know. Since this substitute works, it's not that urgent. Oh, my eyes are burning, but so far I'm not completely crying. Okay, so you just let that cook for a little while. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do while this is cooking. I guess the thing is, like, people edit their videos. So probably, or I like speed this part up where it's like, and then it's done cooking. Or like the bacon's done frying. And then I add the other parts. Probably will speed this up. Garlic. I forgot garlic. Got it. So this doesn't go in for a little while. But yeah, I almost forgot that part. Super important because I love garlic. So you don't have to cook the bacon all the way before you add the shallots. Just, you know, like, I don't know, 70% of the way or so. Whatever, probably even from, you can even put them in at the same point, I would guess. I don't know, I haven't tried that, but depends on like, if you're trying to speed it up, if you're trying to do fewer, longer steps or whatever. I don't know, up to you. You just do whatever feels right. Okay, let's make sure that's the hot part. I know my hair still looks bad. I know probably I shouldn't point that out, but I have this feeling of like, they're gonna notice my hair looks bad. So I thought maybe it's safer just to point out like, hey, I know my hair looks bad. I know I'm having a bad hair day. Just like in the tomato soup video, because I literally just filmed that. So hair hasn't changed yet. I didn't change shirts either. I was thinking to change shirts to try to make it look like I was filming on another day. I don't know, maybe, I don't know what people do, but you know what? I just wanted to go for it. I just wanted to get filming as soon as possible because I am afraid to let too much time go by because I'm afraid my imposter syndrome is going to make me say, nope, this is not for you. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. But I want to do it. I'm curious about this. I have been curious about this for years. And now I'm having the feeling of like, what if I just tried earlier? Even if nothing comes of it, even if it's just pure humiliation, why not? Like, who cares? Probably no one even sees this, in which case, no humiliation because nobody sees it. Nobody to, like, really? I just don't want people that I know personally to see this because, I don't know, that just makes it a lot weirder feeling. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really care if I embarrass myself in front of complete strangers. I'm just terrified that one person that I know personally is going to stumble upon it and be like, oh, Anna did this and it's terrible. But who knows? Or maybe they'll be like, Anna did this and it's awesome. But yeah, it's hard for me to imagine that part. Okay, let's add the shallots to this. Shallots. Again, we haven't really figured out what they're called, like how to pronounce them, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I actually let the bacon cook a little bit longer than I really needed to, I would say. I mean, before adding the shallots, obviously it has to be fully cooked. It's bacon. I mean, is bacon smoked or something? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But I prefer to cook bacon all the way because I don't want to risk any weird parasites or anything. Okay, so we will let that cook while I cut the mushrooms. And then we can add the mushrooms as soon as possible, basically. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold going on. So you might hear me sniffle every once in a while. But also I think because of the tearing up from cutting the shallots. I may have to go get a tissue for my nose. Gotta do it. I'm back. Oh my goodness, I better turn this down. Okay. Normally I would have the fan on because this is pretty pungent. It smells amazing, but I don't know if you want your food to smell, your house, not your food. Yeah, your house to smell like food. That's what I meant to say. So, I mean, I prefer my house to smell like food over some of the other smells that we might have in our house, like dirty diapers. But yeah, not everybody wants their house to smell very foody or pungent or oniony. So probably turn on your thing. Okay. So I'm still going to dice, not dice, but slice them. That's the word. Okay, I need to not forget that I have this other thing cooking still. Oh, and I do need to pop my Brussels sprouts into the oven ASAP. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, I'm just gonna like give them a little jiggle with my hand to make sure that if there were any bugs or anything on them, it's all off, any dirt, whatever. Rinse them in the sink. You're going to just put a little drizzle of olive oil on it. It's probably like a tablespoon or two. I need to turn this down more. And then my hands are wet. So again, okay, maybe I'll use a measuring spoon since my hands are wet right now. Or just like a little spoon. Ah, almost dropped it. Okay, I'm fine. So I don't know. I'm not putting a ton of salt because we've already salted the water. Oops, okay, that was a lot. Okay. It was like, again, maybe just half a teaspoon of salt or something. I don't know. Just everyone has different ideas of how much salt is a good amount. Sorry, my hair is in my mouth. And whatever seems right to you is probably fine. And then I'm going to use some white pepper. You can use black pepper or freshly ground pepper would probably be lovely, but what I have is this already ground white pepper, and I love white pepper, so I'm going to go kind of heavy, especially because my kids are not going to eat this because they don't like the mushrooms, as I said before. Okay, so then, oh, I breathed in the pepper. I'm going to just plop this onto the tray, and okay, how do I put this where everyone can see? I am going to just flip them cut side down as quick as possible to get these into the oven. Did I turn the oven on? I did, but no, I did not. Dang it. Okay, let's turn this on. I thought I turned it on, but I only turned half of it on. And you're going to turn it on to well, okay, in Fahrenheit, I'm not sure what you turn it on to. In Celsius, you're gonna turn it on to about 240. Or 250, somewhere around there. Last time I cooked it, I think I only did it at 240, and it didn't seem like they were cooked enough. They were still like a little bit crunchy, even though I soaked them for a long time. But again, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. And then just kind of like spread them, whatever, it doesn't matter how you spread them out. Okay, so unfortunately, yeah, that's gonna turn on your oven first next time. Do the soaking. And when it's getting close to that end of the hour, like when it's, I don't know how long it takes an oven to preheat, but when it's starting to get really close to that time, then turn on your oven to preheat and then do the other stuff, because now I'm going to have to figure out like how to edit this or like maybe I turn off the camera while this, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. This is still completely new to me, still my first day. So hopefully the next video I make will be a little bit better than this because, yeah, still learning. And okay, we're making a mess of this. I don't like to cut just one thing at once. It feels like a waste of my momentum or something, like my time. To line them up and try to, I don't know, there's probably a much faster way of doing this. Maybe someone can let me know. I am definitely not a professional at any of this. I just really love cooking. It's my favorite thing to do. I love feeding people. So yeah, but I haven't ever taken any proper classes or anything on how to do it. As you can see from my chopping skills, they're a little bit sad. Okay, let me stir this before this burns. And it's okay if the onions and stuff, or the whatever, shallots and bacon get a little bit on the more done side, because the color is the flavor, I think. I don't know. I feel like I've heard that somewhere. Okay, even though my oven is not preheated fully, I'm just going to put this into the oven just to try to get it cooking as soon as possible. I'm gonna set the timer for a little bit more than 15 minutes because I know it's not fully preheated yet. Okay, I set it for like 18 minutes since it's not preheated. Okay, I'm gonna start just dumping some of these mushrooms in here. And okay, the original recipe I think called for maybe 7 mushrooms, or I don't know. Like it called for like 3 slices of bacon and maybe like 7 mushrooms or something. But I did at least double the amount of bacon. I don't know. I'm not sure how many mushrooms I've got here, but significantly more, I think, than what it called for. Because like I said, this is the most delicious part, in my opinion. And I like to go heavy on the yummy part. Oops, what's going on here? There, I can throw that in. So you see that I'm adding the mushrooms before the garlic? That's because I don't remember when I'm supposed to add the garlic, but I have this feeling that you're supposed to add the garlic a little bit later so it doesn't burn. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I will attempt to write the correct way of doing this into the caption or wherever people put those things. Yeah, so okay, we still have to put some garlic. And again, I think it called for maybe 1 garlic clove in the original recipe, but I'm going to put probably like 3 because I love garlic so much. It's my favorite food. Well, it's not my favorite food. It's like my favorite ingredient, I should say. Let me stir this. Bottom of my pan is looking a little brown, but it's okay. When we put in the cream sherry or Shaoxing wine, whatever this is this called Shaoxing wine? I guess it is. Well, whenever we put this part in, it will deglaze the bottom of the pan. So. I know there's a better way of doing this, and I'm doing it the like newbie way or whatever. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm a little bit scared. Oh, I already did that one. That's why it didn't work. I'm a little scared when I do this that I'm going to end up cutting my hand, but it worked kind of. Wait, did it work? Am I getting this? Okay, yeah, that made it a little bit easier. I don't really like that then I get the garlicky juice all over my hand. I mean, I get it anyways, I guess, when I cut it, but I feel like I smell more garlicky, which even though it's my favorite ingredient, I don't love to smell garlicky. Or like if people didn't mind that I smelled garlicky, I don't think I'd mind it, but I feel like people judge me when I smell garlicky. So maybe that's all in my head. That's very possible. Oops. And I don't really know, like, I forget what the camera is seeing. So I have no idea if you're seeing the pan. I hope so. If not, it looks lovely. It's all getting very brown colored. I'm going to turn up the heat a little, I guess, because I had lowered it because I was kind of forgetting about it for a while. Yeah, I'm kind of making this recipe take a little bit longer than it needs to, just out of like lack of preparation. But it's fine. It's usually pretty quick. Again, like if you buy chopped, like pre-chopped mushrooms and maybe the garlic that's got the papery, the skin, whatever it's called, taken off, then probably this can be like a pretty quick thing. Also like the pre-chopped bacon, that would be very helpful, I think. Yeah, I mean, really like it's been a long time since I've been to the US, so, and of course, like, not only people from the US are going to be watching this, I'm just kind of assuming that it's more relevant to them. I don't know, maybe it's relevant to anyone. But, so I don't really know what you have available to you in your grocery stores. Here we do have, we have the pre-chopped bacon, but it's in cubes. It's not in the like slivery ones. So for me, it's a little bit too big. The pieces are a little too like thick for my preference. So I prefer just to get the thin strips of bacon, the streaky bacon or whatever it's called. And I don't know if we have pre-chopped mushrooms, at least at the grocery store that I go to. And also I don't see garlic that's already peeled to buy. I used to buy this at Trader Joe's in America. Like I remember, because I would go through garlic super, super fast. So I do remember buying that, I think at Trader Joe's, maybe not, I have no idea. I bought it from somewhere. So yeah, I know in America you probably do have access to the peeled garlic already. So that would save you some time. So if you're like in a hurry, if you're making this for a holiday or something like Thanksgiving coming up, which I definitely will be making it for that, because like I said at the very beginning, I make it for Christmas and Thanksgiving every year. And really, I don't know, Easter, all the holidays. Because I make it also just on regular days. So like sometimes I just make it as the main dish of the dinner. For me, mostly, because like I said, my kids don't like it because of the mushrooms. My husband likes it, but not as a main dish. So I'm the only one who eats it as a main dish. But yeah, anyways, let's put this garlic in. Okay, I'm gonna make like a little space here just to have some room to kind of fry it a little. And I've kind of tried to angle the pan so that it is like the hot, to make sure this little empty spot is where the heat is. Okay. Sorry, I don't know if the mic is making this sound too monstrous, but okay. And then I'm just gonna kind of let that cook a little bit in that corner before I mix it in with the rest of it. I can probably move this over to the side now. Okay, so we're basically, I might put a little salt on the, okay, I forgot that bacon is super salty. I don't usually add salt to this point because we've added salt to the Brussels sprouts and the bacon is salty. So I may have just made this too salty, I'm not sure. Hopefully not. But yeah, you don't really need to add any extra seasoning to this. Especially, I kind of prefer to let people just salt their own food at the table after it's cooked, just because I know everyone has different preferences. Ah, it smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit more even. Okay, now I'm gonna just make sure it's all mixed together. Turning up, ooh, my eyes a little bit. Ah, it smells so good. I can't believe how good my house smells right now. It smells like my spiced pumpkin candle, the tomato soup that I just made in the video before this video, which has like cloves. I forgot, again, I keep thinking milkin, what is milkin? Cloves. And now with these like mushrooms and the bacon and the shallots and the garlic, oh my God. Oops, I just made a mess. It smells amazing, completely amazing. It smells like a holiday. Okay, so those are still kind of cooking together a little. Mainly we're just, yeah. Okay, we can add this stuff. Again, yeah, it smells almost identical to the cream sherry, I think. So in the recipe, I think you're going to add about a 1/4 cup of this and about a 1/2 cup of the cream, the heavy cream. but I'm just going to freehand it because I like my sauce to be even a little bit more, I would say. So, and again, my kids are not eating this because they don't like the mushrooms, so I might go heavy on this. I like the flavor of this. So I'm just gonna pour some in here. Okay, that was probably a little bit more than a 1/4 cup. And I'm going to let that cook a little to like deglaze the pan before I add the cream. I keep having this urge to make small talk with you. Again, like you is actually just my phone, which feels weird. It's like, how do I make small talk with a phone? But I feel weird just doing stuff while being watched by my phone, I guess. So it's like, hey, how are you? Okay, I'm just going to try to forget that you're there for a second and focus on this. I mean, you don't really have to, I don't know why I'm stirring it actually. I think I just need to feel like I have something to do with my hands. I'm going to add the cream now. Give it a little shake. Just because sometimes here, the cream will have like a big layer of congealed fat or something. I don't know, that sounds gross. It's not gross, it's just like the fatty part of the cream or something like stuck at the top, and sometimes it's hard to pour it out when it's new, but this one looks good. Like sometimes I have to poke something through that just to get the cream out. So I'm gonna go a little bit more than a 1/2 cup probably here. Oh, is it coming out? It's a little bit weird. Oh yeah, oh my God. Okay, I don't know how much I've added. Unfortunately, yeah, the cream, the fat is like separated again, which I want the fat in there, but okay. So I don't know how much I put. Maybe I'm gonna put just a little bit more. Okay. But again, when you're making this, go ahead and put 1/2 cup of the cream and a 1/4 cup of the cream sherry. If you want, I mean, no, do what you like. If you are a saucy person, then put more, like me. I like more. I mean, really, like I've kind of doubled almost everything in this except for the Brussels sprouts, which again, I love Brussels sprouts. They're amazing, but I like this part even better. So I'm just gonna kind of stir. You don't really have to stir, but I mean, actually probably you should not stir. Once it's kind of combined like this, you just let it bubble away a bit until it gets a little bit thicker. I think the way that they described it was that it should, the cream should kind of condense down to where it like coats the back of the spoon or like, yeah, something like that. So let's give it a little test now. It's still pretty liquidy. So we are going to give it a little bit longer. Okay, I just have this like feeling that I need to be stirring or something, but really we should probably just let it be. I'm gonna take a look at the Brussels sprouts. Okay, they're looking pretty good. I may actually turn, I had the temperature like a little bit high, so I turned it down just a teeny bit to not let them get too burned. I usually don't flip them. I don't recall if the recipe actually suggested that you flip them. That seems like a lot of work, and usually I have my 2 kids running around in the kitchen with me, so that feels kind of dangerous to like just have a hot pan on the stove while I'm trying to flip those. So if it says that in the recipe, I will include that, but I never do that myself, so I don't think it makes a difference. It might not even say to do that. I just had this feeling of like, oh my goodness, I don't have the recipe in front of me. I don't know, maybe people normally put the recipe, like I guess I was just going off of my memory. Probably I should next time have the recipe like glued to the wall or something so I could check what it actually says, just to make sure I am following it correctly. But I've made this so many times that, just like the tomato soup that I just filmed, this is like instinctual at this point, so, or habit or something. Okay, so my sauce is getting a little thicker. It's getting actually quite not liquidy, but it's fine. It's okay. Now gonna let it keep going a little bit longer. Basically, when the Brussels sprouts are done in the oven, the sauce should be done and they're ready to combine and serve immediately. So it's perfectly fine. Like honestly, this is delicious the next day. This is one of these dishes that is like as good or better the next day when you heat it up in the microwave or something. And it will be good at room temperature. The texture will be a little bit thicker if you're eating it at room temperature, like if you've let it cool down a bit, just because the cream and everything will kind of congeal a bit, but it's totally fine tasting. Like when I bring it to dinner parties, even if I have to travel maybe an hour or something with it, I don't usually try to reheat it before serving it. So I almost want to add a little more cream because I'm kind of feeling like this doesn't have as much liquid as I would like. I like it to be a bit saucier. So I am going to add a little bit more cream to this. And with that, I'm going to add a little bit more of the cream sherry substitute, which is whatever this stuff is. Okay, just to make sure the taste is not too different. Okay. It would have been better if I had just added more cream from the beginning. I guess err on the side of like too much cream because it always can cook down and the flavors get even more like mingled, whatever, I don't know the culinary term for that, but yeah, okay. But it's okay, I think it's gonna be done pretty soon. So what I'm curious about, and I guess nobody can answer me because there's a very good chance no one will ever see these videos to be able to comment to them, and I'm literally talking to my phone. But my question is, how do people make content that is able to be used on YouTube in the horizontal format, but then also used on the other ones, which are vertical? Am I getting, yeah, I don't think I have those backwards. Yeah, how do they do it? I mean, I guess I can watch some YouTube videos on that. YouTube is the answer to everything, I guess, but yeah. If you know, and if this video gets put anywhere, like if some human actually sees this and has the answer, feel free to comment and tell me, hopefully by then, because I know that it takes a long time for videos to even, like if they are ever discovered by anyone, it takes a long time for them to be seen. Like I think the algorithm or something, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know. But yeah. Comment if you know. Okay, I am hoping, yeah, this is almost done. This is gonna beep. So I'm going to take these out of the oven. Okay. And turn off the stove, and I'm just going to plop the, hot, oh my God. I'm going to plop the Brussels sprouts right into the sauce. So it's okay if they're a little bit charred looking on the top. I mean, if it bothers you, feel free to, I don't know, take the top leaf off, but I think it's gonna be fine. So I am going to hopefully not start a fire by having that there. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of push these off into there. And then I'm going to just stir them together. Okay, hopefully not start my house on fire. Okay, so this is done. And then you just mix it. The sauce is not like looking as thick as it sometimes does. And maybe that's because I added the cream, like the extra cream towards the end. So probably I shouldn't have done that, I don't know. But I'm sure it's still gonna taste amazing because, yeah, it's delicious. Even if it doesn't look quite as amazing. Okay, let's get a plate. Every single one of my plates is chipped because, I don't know, I think there was something wrong with our old dishwasher where, I don't know, or maybe, I have no idea. why all of our plates ended up chipped, but every single one of them is chipped. So I get to use this beautiful chipped plate as my lovely show plate, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna put some here. Move this off the heat so it doesn't keep cooking. Got a fork. And enjoy. I am not going to put that in my mouth right now because I do not want to burn the roof of my mouth. I hate burning the roof of my mouth. So maybe I will come back in a few minutes and give it a try. Bye. Okay, I waited about 2 minutes, but I can't wait any longer because I am super hungry. Oh man, that's a lot of steam. I'm a little nervous here, but let's give this a taste and see if it turned out. Amazing. Still fairly hot, but not burning me.